Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Ask for what you want. Find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everyone has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow Industrials down 44, NASDAQ off 11, S&P's off 8.5, gold contract up $15.10, trading at $1,675 an ounce. Still not enough juice for gold on the upside. We'll go through those volume contracts in a second. But bottom line, folks, is that it's pretty anemic when gold can go up $15 and none of the gold equities nor silver equities move topside. Silver up 84 cents, trading out at $32.02. Platinum up $5 at $1,685 an ounce. Copper up 5.5 cents at $3.74 a pound. Light sweet crude up 44 cents, trading out at $98.01 a barrel. Bonds down 6 ticks at 143.08. Now, what the bond market did, folks, is that went into the September low, rejected the price. We'll go over the volumes in a second. But it had done 2 different things. It's pretty neat what the 30-year, 10-year bond did out here today. And what it was is this, is that when the GDP came out this morning, that came out early this morning, bonds spiked higher. Gave it back ASAP. But that was the first inclination that, you know what, you're going to get a rejection of lower price. Second time that it basically said, I want out of this lower price is when the Fed come out with their minutes at 2:15. King dollar down 31 ticks, trading out at 79.30. Euro up 75 ticks at 135.67. And the yen continues weaker, up 38 at 91.11. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? Cash S&P, what we've done out here is this. You basically down $7. Really, it's almost a sideways move, but you're down $7. You're at 1,500.76. What we did, again, as we've done for the last about 2.5 weeks, you went to a higher high, had lighter volume. In this particular case, you basically gave it up. The market started giving it up slightly, folks, when the Fed announcement came out this afternoon at 2:15. It put the volatility inside the market, and the first acceleration down did have a bit of juice with it. Dow Industrials at the sideways move, down $44, but realistically a sideways move. NASDAQ Composite. Now, what you have with the composite is this. Composite got to the higher high, had lighter volume, gave it up. You know, we'll see how the composite acts when it's going into the first swing point. The first lower swing point is $24 lower. We're down $11 right now. You're at 31.42. If we go and look at the ETF structure, first we go to the SPY. What you see inside the SPY is this. The SPY did 116,000 shares. Bottom, closed under the highs of yesterday. We'll see if we can get some juice on the downward side. The 3 Qs, what we have inside the 3 Qs is this. Now, the 3 Qs are really set up for a nice pullback, and this is what it is. The 3 Qs have continued, and this is going all the way back, folks, to January 2nd. They've continued to get over the $67.23, which was the break topside on the 2nd of January. That was 70 million shares. Today we did 33. Each and every time it's over there, there is someone selling into that and selling into it in a big way. Now, that's on the upside. What we haven't done on the downside of the bottom of that consolidation is that when we go, the first time we got to 67.34, and we pull back slightly. We pull back into the gap, and we pull back to 67.17. What had happened then is that the volume contracted. Where the volume didn't contract is the third time that we had headed higher. We had headed up on the 23rd of January. We closed out that day at the $67.59. We gapped lower, and that is where the volume did expand. So what I'd be looking for tomorrow is this. If we're going to get to lower price, which I expect we are, particularly in the NASDAQ, what you'll see is an expansion of volume from this 33 million here to 45 million. That's what you're going to need. Let's put it this way. You're going to need 40, 45 million, 50 million in order to get to lower price. That's how this is set up at this particular point. Gold contract. Now, let's go look at the gold contract. You talk about divergence. Divergence was all over the place. But you also talk about having no juice behind the move. It's pretty dramatic when you basically look at this contract and we talk about, what is the force behind the move? And, when we're taking a look at this, what you have is that there she is, right there. Whoops, 1 second. CRB. Okay. So if we go over to the GLD and we'll take a look at, we'll use the GLD because we're going from contract to contract right now. If you take a look at the GLD, what you have is this. GLD today did 11 million shares. You're going into 24 million shares. You're going into 14 million shares. Still not enough. Couldn't get to the swing point. Couldn't handle the price. And the market, meaning the gold shares and the silver shares, are basically screaming that this thing still wants to get down to the May and August lows. The XAU was down. The HUI was down. The bottom line is that even with the physical gold and silver higher, the equities couldn't handle it. Bond market. We go over to bonds. Now, this is really interesting, bonds. Okay, so 30-year bond, what do? We did 618,000 contracts, which means that low is going to get tested. Okay? But what we also did is that we rejected the 143.08. So what you have, if you take a look at this intraday, it's pretty clean what happened in that bond market. And what you had is this. Prior to the GDP coming out this morning, you had the bonds trading all the way down to 142.20. GDP comes out, bonds spiked to 143.22. Came back down with dramatically lighter volume and then starts spiking again higher. The way this bond is set up on a shorter term basis is that this is going to make a run for 144 right now. And that 144, if it has any type of juice at all, that says higher highs are coming at us. TLT. If you take a look at the TLT, which traded all day, this is the 20-year plus ETF structure. What you'll see in the TLT is that the TLT got to a price point of 116.16, closed at 116.75. The TLT still has to get back inside the 117.90 in order to be back inside that range. But if you are trading the TLT, you really want to trade it off the bond future. The reason you want to trade it off the bond future, folks, is that is what they all trade off of. And the ETF structure, what happens with the ETF structure is that the ETF structure has fees in it. So those fees basically will take a half a point, quarter a point away from the actual price. So when you're looking at swing points, it changes up the actual swing point. Qualcomm closed at $63.53. It's trading up $4 right now at $67.21. And let's see what Qualcomm has to say. You can see, bottom line, that Qualcomm doesn't depend on Apple. Qualcomm. So bottom line estimate was $1.12. For the 2013 first quarter, they plan on making $1.26. Top line, that's what they made. Revenue for the their first quarter, they're on a different, they're not in a calendar year. Their first quarter, the estimate was $1.12. They made $1.26. Their revenue, the estimate was $5.9 billion. They took in $6.02 billion. For the second quarter, they see revenue coming in. The estimate was $5.87 billion, and they see that on the high side. The low of the high that they see is 5.8, which is over the estimate, to 6.3. So decent number there on Qualcomm, no doubt about it. Even with Qualcomm, there's something else that is basically putting a little punishment on the S&P mini futures right now. So there's something else that's out there that I haven't found just yet that is coming down, because the futures right now are down $9 They were down about 7.5 when we started out. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. Facebook just come out also. Facebook closed at 31.24. She's trading out at 29.39. Thanks, Z. Really appreciate it. You stay there, folks. We're coming right back. We ended out, finished down 44. NASDAQ off 11. S&P's off 9.5. We're going to be right back.